Hey, this is Nick Aldis, your favorite GM, former world champion, and friend of K100 despite being on probation. A few years ago, I started Legacy Sports Nutrition to sell high-quality supplements made in the USA to people like me and hopefully people like you. Since we launched, code K100 is the most used promo code at LegacySubs.com, which is a testament to the listeners of this show as intelligent people who care about their health and performance with bestsellers like Test X9 Testosterone Booster and our Recovery PM Sleep Aid. I use these products myself, and so does my wife, Hall of Famer Mickie James, as well as a bunch of your favorite wrestlers. Try our stuff now at LegacySubs.com. That's LegacySupps.com, and use code K100 for 10% off and to support this podcast.
So now let's get to AEW. Okay. So they start off with, they're talking about the, what do you call it? This Full Gear this weekend, right? Is it next weekend or this weekend? When is Full Gear?
I think it's this weekend, yeah.
Wow.
It's from Boston.
It's this weekend. Okay. So they start off with Bobby Lashley against Ricochet, and Lashley beats him in 3 minutes. So whatever. So then they do it's like, bro, Lashley's bogged down. Like I'm saying, he doesn't need to be in this angle with these. They're dragging this out too long. Lashley needs to be working more top guys than this guy. You know, so it's
Ricochet.
Yeah,
You don't think
So
Ricochet's a top guy though?
no.
Wow.
Well, why would Ricochet's never elevated himself above mid card in WWE? He was an entertaining mid card character, but like you can't treat him like a main eventer in this company because it makes it look like, you know, like they're mid carders, you're main eventers.
Let me ask you a question, Joe.
Yeah.
So you consider in AEW at this moment, at this time, Ricochet a main eventer?
Yes. From what I see and read and watch.
Even after he just got beat in 3 minutes?
That's why I'm saying, I'm like, that's a little confusing to me. So I don't know.
Joe, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How many main events has Ricochet been in the past since he's been in WWE compared to, or AEW compared to Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia?
Oh, I'd say those guys 20-1 beat him as far as main events. Yeah.
It's like, you look at that. Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta have been in way more main events than Ricochet.
Which is one of my most famous comments. Being in a main event doesn't make you a main eventer.
Correct.
13 matches listed for this Full Gear. Well, four pre-show.
So Joe and Shibata were backstage, and Joe said he was told when he arrived that if he interfered in Shibata's match with Hangman, he would lose his championship shot at Full Gear, but he said he'd be on a commentary. So, all right. So they showed a video footage aired of the Young Bucks watching their match at Full Gear when they teamed with Kenny. Renee asked the Bucks if they would join the Don Callis family, and Callis showed up and told the Bucks to go show the world why they're the best tag team on the planet. Then they could give the Rubes their answer about joining his family. So then Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks go against Sky Flight, which is Scorpio Sky, Dante Martin, and Darius Burton. And this was not my kind of match because all high flying with, you know, the thing with, you know, with AEW is, dude, these guys, like, they structured the match around their high spots, and like everything that's structured around the high spots, like all the details are just like they aren't good. Like a lot of this work looks like very like indie. You know, like I don't know. I'm not a fan of this stuff. But Alexander puts Dante in the ankle lock after the Bucks hit the BT driver on him, and they pin him. So Don enters the ring after the match, and then Mark Davis, Rocky Romero, and Hechicero come out and join him. Mark Davis is like your typical indie guy that he's doing national TVs, but been doing it for a while now, and doesn't know how to dress for work still. He always wears like a cheap wife beater or something. He looks ridiculous. So
Was he wearing a stained shirt again, Di?
I don't know, but bro,
Well,
it's
the
like
worst part is that he doesn't come off or look like a star, and that's even worse.
that's what I'm saying. They should drop all these dead weight guys, and because Kyle Fletcher looks like a star. He's smart. He's out there looking like the best dressed guy out there. So and these other guys just don't get it. They just come out there like dressed like bums half the time, you know. So Callis said the world was waiting for the Bucks to make the official announcement and join the family. And Callis said the Bucks had entrances, limos, and big matches again. And Callis said AEW can be a dangerous place. He said bad things can happen to the Bucks if they don't have a family. And said he'd hate to see what happened to Kenny Omega happen to the Bucks. And they're looking at him like, what does that mean? Like, what are you gonna beat us up to? He's like, so then Kenny comes out and has a chair, and used a chair on Davis and Romero, and then entered the ring and worked over Alexander. But they pulled Omega off. And Omega wasn't happy. And Alexander clipped the back of Omega's leg and put him in an ankle lock. And Callis told Alexander to let Omega go. And Callis told the Bucks they didn't have to say they were in the family. They just needed to grab Omega and give him a BTE trigger. McAllister a kick at Omega, and the Bucks grabbed Omega's arms. Then Jack Perry and Luchasaurus came out. Perry had a shovel, and Luchasaurus had a vacuum cleaner.
Why?
And then they fled to ringside, and that was just so they ran them off.
Was he cleaning?
That's
Was he cleaning the dressing room? And then
dude, that is literally the setup. Now they have a match of Full Gear, and that's the setup for the 6-man tag.
right. The vacuum
Did that
cleaner
make you
got a
interested in
huge
the
pop.
6-man tag?
Well, the vacuum cleaner did. Yeah.
Willow Nightingale and Harley Cannon cut a promo. And they said they'll become the first tag team champions, and they chanted, they're calling themselves the Babes of Wrath.
Right. They've been doing
That's
that for a
great,
while.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
So then they do a very long, for me,
Babes of Wrath. Go ahead.
if you're 50, 60 years old, you know who Bob Caudle is. They spend an exorbitant amount of time
yeah, right.
paying
Yeah.
tribute to Bob Caudle. No disrespect to Bob Caudle, but I don't think hardly anybody knew who this guy is.
Right. At least put a
You
video
know.
package on him and so people know who he is. Not
Right.
even that.
You
Just
know,
a graphic, right? And you're supposed to, I guess, look it up.
Joe, do this.
Yeah.
Look up on Grok. When was the last time Bob Caudle announced a wrestling match? Okay. Maybe he was good friends with Tony, and that's why Tony had a lot to say, and maybe Tony convinced him
Could be.
to do a thing here, but whatever. I don't know, nothing wrong with it. It's just unusual that, the dude's come on, nobody knows this guy, you know?
Right.
So they do Mike Bailey against Sheldon Benjamin for the number 2 spot in the casino match at the Battle Royal. And what do you know? A referee, I don't know who screwed up the finish. I think the ref did. Because I
Well,
think
he
that's
had to have screwed it up because MVP actually got into the ring to celebrate.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And they
that
had
was
to
supposed
call
be
him
the
back.
finish because they super kicked him, and Bailey did a flip bump on the super kick
whole
that looked
flip.
really good.
Great
And he
finish.
covered him, and then the referees forgot the finish. And it's counted 2, and then did the, so then they went into another super kick, and there was a finish. So definitely the referee screwed up there, and isn't it hysterical? We were literally talking yesterday about how the referees in AEW are just amateurish and everything. Here we go again, another botch by a referee. So, what do you think of this match? By the way, I'm not.
Well, let me just say this. I'm not going to say any names so I don't, people don't get offended. But it just seems that most of the referees, whether they're in MLW, TNA, AEW, it's how cheap they are and how much extra are they willing to do that is not in their job description to keep their job.
Right.
That's what a referee entails.
Right.
So Bob Caudle's last appearance really anywhere was at Ric Flair's last match. That event,
Before that.
it says that from mostly in the 2000s, he just worked at NWA Fan Fest and things like that, special appearances. Yeah. So before that, it would have just been Smoky Mountain, right? In the mid 90s. Yeah.
All right. So then they do. There was an interview segment here with. I don't know if I missed it. No, I don't think I have yet. So then they do John Moxley and Claudio against Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy, and the gist of this, it breaks down into where the Moxley does the bulldog choke, and Cassidy was out, so they win. He choked him out. Then Kyle O'Reilly ran out and put Moxley in the ankle lock, and then Yuta and Garcia were throwing kicks at O'Reilly that looked very fake. He didn't release the hold. So Strong and Garcia cleared Garcia and Yuta out of the ring, and Cassidy only pulled Moxley out. So the gimmick was here is that Moxley was tapping again to Kyle O'Reilly, and afterwards. So O'Reilly got on the mic and said he wanted to fight Moxley at Full Gear, and O'Reilly said because Moxley, who was limping at ringside, gave him a taste for blood, he wants to face him in a no holds barred match. And I'm like, dude, really? I go Kyle O'Reilly for the past 3-4 months has been standing there in interview segments. Well, what's his name? The Mark Briscoe guy does all the talking, and now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this guy's got a match with Moxley on a pay-per-view. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but this is not.
It just seems to me like they're building up between Mox and the Death Rider separating, or Mox and Claudio. That's what I'm seeing here. And it's and to tell you the truth, it's probably for the best. It's way kind of overdue.
Yeah. Right. Past the expiration date.
Get in the game with the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Bet on the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, soccer, golf, MMA, and more. Every sport, every market, right at your fingertips. Deposit instantly with PayPal, Venmo, or Apple Pay, starting at just $10. Win big and cash out fast. PayPal in 24 hours or instantly at retail sportsbooks. Available in over 20 states, FanDuel's app is your ticket to the action. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app now.
This was an excellent interview. Brody King and Bandito. Brody said FTR has been one of the best tag teams in AEW. They've not proven they could beat him and Bandito. And then Brody said FTR will go home empty-handed on Saturday. And Bandito said Brodito never stops fighting. This was not a good interview.
But you must have loved it at the end with the gun when they went pa, pa, pa.
Right, right. They were, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, that really made it.
So then they had Kenny Omega, Jack Perry, Luchasaurus, and Omega said that Josh Alexander made things personal when he broke Ibushi's leg and then attacked Nakazawa. And, and Omega said no amount of money would save Alexander for what they go to do to him. And Omega closes this line. It's like, dude, come on. Did you get the, like, if Michael Nakazawa got attacked and there's a pay-per-view match over, would you be interested in that?
Yes.
Yeah, but listen, it's a $1 million. It's a $1 million match
right there.
Especially if Luchasaurus is there with the vacuum. I can never miss that.
I cannot find like a storyline reason why he had. I was looking at Reddit and Twitter, and people are like, "Well, New Jack brought out a vacuum cleaner." It's like, oh, okay.
Right.
So
they put so Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa against Rio and Alex Windsor in the tag team tournament first round match. I don't know, Rio. You know my opinion on these performers.
I couldn't believe.
I like Tony Storm. Mina Shirakawa is pretty hot, but Rio does not belong out there like competitively competing against these people. So, but the baby faces, well, they're both baby faces. So Tony Storm and Mina went over.
the timeless love bombs.
Is that what they call them?
Oh,
I
yeah.
could not believe. I'd love to see the numbers on this.
No, this is not the main event.
Oh, it wasn't? Okay, my bad.
No. There's another, we'll get to the main event's coming up. So Alicia Toot was talking to Kyle Fletcher with Don Callis backstage, and Mark Briscoe's there, and she said, no physicality. Fletcher boasts he's won 3 of the 5 matches he's had with Briscoe, and Fletcher said their match is a no DQ stipulation. So that's so bro, we just came out blood and guts, and now there's a no DQs, there's no hold bar.
Yep.
Fletcher said there'd be no kicking and screaming when Briscoe loses and joins a real family, and Briscoe told him not to talk about family. Said he has no intention of leaving the conglomeration behind, and know that he fought them in blood and guts. And Briscoe said he wouldn't let his family down. He said he would make his family proud. And Okada and Hechicero attacked Briscoe from behind. Okada and Hechicero held Briscoe down while Callis told him that he would make Briscoe's kids orphans. Fletcher thanked Okada for not agreeing to the no physicality rule that he and Briscoe had. Okada said he was glad to help because Takeshita couldn't. And Okada smiled and said, "Quote Okada," before walking away. So if they team up, they're going to be the what was he, the pro? What's Kyle Fletcher's nickname? The product.
Is he the prodigy?
Prodigy or something or whatever. But that would be the Proto Okada.
That's Roxanne's name.
Yeah, he's the proto star.
Protostars, right? Pac had a pretty good pre-tape promo from undisclosed location. Said he did some soul searching. Darby Allin apology. Recalled saying he would break Allen's neck, but he sent him to the burn unit instead. Said he may take things a little too far, blood and guts, and said he was challenging Allen to legitimate competition. Said when Allen is stripped of his bells and whistles, there's no way that someone like Allen can compete with a legitimate athlete like him. I actually like the way he speaks.
Yeah.
It sounds convincing, Joe came out for commentary for the Sabata Hangman Page match. Nobody and their mother thought that Sabata was going to win. Page hit the buckshot lariat, and that was it. And that was Dynamite. And the screen went blank, and they went to Collision, but I didn't watch Collision because you have to when you're on HBO Max, you have to exit and go find Collision and start Collision.
Oh, that's stupid.
So I didn't see any of this. I didn't see any Collision. Did you see any Collision, Konnan?
This was the last match I saw was this. I thought,
yeah. So you didn't watch the Collision. There was a 3-hour show altogether where they did Collision right afterwards.
Right, I did not know.
I didn't watch any of the other stuff. So.
Right. So let me ask you a question. We
what
just
did you
went
think of the
over.
show?
Okay, we just went over a 2-hour show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything on the show or anybody that interests you? And if so, who and why?
Nothing real. I mean, I'm still kind of interested in the Bucks storyline, whether they're going to turn or join with Kenny.
Right.
because they could probably get a babyface run. I still like Fletcher because he sticks out as like a sore thumb in that family, but I don't, it's too diluted with all those other guys and stuff. Everything, but like I don't, the Hangman and Samoa Joe is in a 3-man group, and him and Hangman are going their second pay-per-view, title match. It's like, I don't know. Like everything is all like this place is all over the place.
Right.
There's like, it's not really like, because they wait so long to book for the pay-per-views. Like they'll do 1 to 2 weeks of storytelling and for a match, or 1 week.
Yeah.
And it's like, and there's 13 matches, and it's like, 1 or 2 of them have been built up like you would traditionally build up at the pay-per-view. And it's like, I'm just not interested.
Yeah. Do you want to go through the card for the pay-per-view real quick before we wrap
Let's
up?
hear it. Do
you want to hear the pre-shows or just the main
Let's
card?
hear everything.
Okay, so the pre-show starts. Big Boom, AJ, and QT Marshall.
No.
Okay. $200,000 4-way tag match. Max Caster and Anthony Bowens versus Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson versus versus Big Bill and Brian Keith versus the Outrunners. Trios match, CMLL Trios Championship. El Sky Team, Mystico, Mascara. I'm gonna get buried for this. Mascara Dorada and Neon versus Okada, Takeshita, and Hechicero. The Don Callis family. Tag match, Hook and Eddie Kingston versus Anthony.
Dude, they've been building up Okada and Takeshi for a while, and like that's a match they're putting on like
a pre-show.
That match is like a progression of that storyline.
Yeah. Hook and Eddie Kingston versus Anthony Henry and JD Drake.
Oh.
Yeah. Then you got the AEW women's title, Statlander defending against Monet. So maybe Mercedes is going to add to her belts there. World title is Hangman versus Samoa Joe in a cage. This is the way they list them, so this ain't the order of the matches. But Bandito and Brody King versus FTR for the titles, the tag titles. Kenny Omega and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander. $1 million match. Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. No DQ for the TNT belt. If Briscoe loses, he has to join the Don Callis family.
Interesting.
Then we got Darby versus Pac. We got a 4-way tag match. The winning team chooses their stipulation for their semifinal match in the women's.
My God, that's right.
Yeah.
This stipulation is. I forgot to mention. Read the stipulation again.
Okay, the winning team chooses a stipulation for their semifinal match in the inaugural AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship Tournament.
What do you think of that stipulation? Like,
come on, bro.
That's a lot.
I heard that like when they were talking like I was like, wait a second, let me.
Who thought that was a good idea?
I rewound
the people involved, and none of the people involved said, "Hey, bro, this is too much. I'd rather not do it or give it to somebody else."
Yeah.
Dude, when they were explaining it, I rewound because I didn't really understand what on earth they were talking about. I rewound it to like listen what was like. It's like that's like something. It's like that literally is it. If that's the what you're promoting this, it's like you've lost the plot.
Yeah. Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly, no holds barred match. And then finally, the Casino Gauntlet match for the inaugural AEW National Championship.
Couldn't care less.
Yeah. So there you go. That's Saturday.
Yeah, I'm only interested in Darby and the Samoa Joe match.
Right. Yeah, me too. So you got your I brought it. Didn't even have 5 this week. I'll tell you the only thing I like. Jade Cargill.
Right.
No, I didn't do just. But a lot of the other stuff is just there was a lot of angles in coming to some of the basic thing. I like the build up to the War Games that ended with Brock and Roman coming out. So like the progression over SmackDown and Raw of all the elements they had to build up that, like there's probably 3 segments. That's a storyline I'm interested in. Okay. I'm interested in what Jade Cargill is doing, and I'm interested in the Charlotte Flair stuff.
Okay.
That's like my top 5. That's like the only things I'm really interested in.
So my number 5 was Javon versus Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 was the Cena match.
Correct.
Number 2 was the ending of the Madison Square Garden.
Right.
And number 1 was the Cena and Dominic in ring.
Right. Yeah. I'll put that on the list. But the only thing I wasn't a fan of is that this segment was booked like a house show. They come out for the promo, they talk, they come out for the beatdown, they get saved, and then we go to commercial break, and they come back and they're having the match. That's like, dude, I think you could have like, maybe, done some backstage, a couple promos before that, set it for later, but like, that's why I was not a fan of that. I liked it because it got a good pop, and Dom was great. Everything was really good, and the finish was the last 5 minutes were great, but it's like it was set up, and I wasn't a fan of. Yeah.
Right. Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.